Good morning, good evening, Professor. My name is Peter Palacios, and today I had created a short story which I have titled Long Live the King. To begin, I have used 10 of the vocabulary words, and every time I come by a vocabulary word, I'll be putting up a sign of it. So my story starts. There was a little boy named Ben living in the streets of South Central of Los Angeles who had big dreams and wanted to be the most feared man on the streets, like his extremely feared father. His father, who was known on the streets as Bones, was 6 feet 11 inches tall. His father was also invincible. There were many times he should have perished on the streets, but can never succeed. Have you noticed in that sentence I used the word perished? I myself was lucky to be his son, but I envied him just because he was so powerful. I loved him because he was my father, but it was time for me to get from under his shadow. I was his only son, so everybody on the streets knew when Bones passed away, I would be the man on the streets. So I wanted it to come sooner rather than later, because my father was in top shape, and he was so fit and healthy like an ox. There were many times during my teenage years that I hated the way my father addressed me, like I didn't matter. My father was pitiless towards me at all times. So I and my father will always have controversy all the time, so I can show him I was tough and just like him. Controversy. Most of the time, it was because of my untidy room. Untidy. Sometimes living at home with my father was intolerable just by the way he treated me. Oh. Intolerable. Just by the way he treated me. So days I went to school, I actually was happy. One day, when I was at school, I started talking to my best friend Michael. At first, when I was speaking to him, it sounded like gibberish, because I didn't want him to think different about me when I tell him this. Then I got the courage and pulled him close to me and whispered in his ears, "I'm going to kill my father so I can be king." He gave me the reaction I would have never expected. When I first told him, he had a void expression on his face. But after his pause, he gave me a big hug and said, "Finally, we're going to run this place." So I explained to him that I am going to do it tonight, and he told me good luck. Later that day, I took a nap and woke up because my dream was tormenting me and making me feel guilty. I knew it was a terrible dream because I had been slobbering, and I never do that. I looked over and tried to grab my water bottle to drink some, but it was inaccessible to me. The last word, inaccessible. But I ended up getting up and getting ready to accomplish the biggest thing in my life. My father walked into the house that night and told me he was tired and going to sleep. It happened so fast that I didn't realize it at first. At 2 in the morning, I grabbed a 9mm. I put a silencer on the tip and shot him 6 times in the head to make sure that he was dead. I ended up fainting, and in the morning when I woke up, I looked on the bed and couldn't believe I just killed the most feared man in LA. When I called up his followers, I told them what happened. They came over and got rid of the body, and my father's right-hand man, Killer, told me the words, "You the king now." Thank you for listening to my story today, and I hope it satisfied you and had you picturing the story. Have a great night.